Waikiki is an extremely active place. I think that's why most people really love it. Real quick, I want to show you this view of Diamond Head. Oh, that's amazing. You can wear your swimsuit year-round and nobody is going to judge you. We saw a whole school of dolphins. Parking can be a bit of a challenge in Waikiki. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's day is off to a good start. Today we are in one of my favorite places, Waikiki. Waikiki, I think, holds a special place in a lot of people's heart. I know it does for me. The first time I visited Hawaii, I believe it was about maybe 14 years ago. I had a friend that was going to UH Manoa, and I came out to visit. First time in Hawaii. I went surfing right here in Waikiki, and it was just such a special experience. I couldn't believe it. From that very moment, I knew that I wanted to live here someday, and here I am, 14 years later. So check out the view right now, by the way. What a beautiful place. This is one of my favorite times of day too. Sunrise and sunset, you just get that really beautiful golden glow. But in today's video, we're gonna talk all about the 21 reasons to love or hate living in Waikiki. So this is gonna be a good one. I'm sure it's gonna be some controversial items on the list. So we'll see how it goes. So number one is Waikiki is an extremely active place. As you can see around me, you know, it's not even 8 a.m. and there's already hundreds of people out. So everybody really comes out to just enjoy the active lifestyle of Waikiki. I think that's why most people really love it. You get the best of both worlds. You get the serenity and the peace and the tranquility of Hawaii and the beauty. And then you also get the active lifestyle. You know, we have a lot of people coming to Hawaii to do things like marathons or Ironmans or surf competitions or even just to hike. So it really attracts a lot of people that really appreciate that active lifestyle. Not to mention there's just so many things to do here in Waikiki, from surfing to hiking. It's pretty incredible. All right, number two, there is a lot of positive energy in Waikiki, really in Hawaii in general, but I say Waikiki because when people come to Waikiki, they're really at their best. You know, a lot of people, I like to always put things into perspective because I think oftentimes we kind of forget where we live, but a lot of people save their entire lives for a vacation like this. And so what that ends up meaning is that a lot of people that come to Hawaii, they're just at their best when they're here because they've planned and dreamt of this vacation for a very long time. So living in Waikiki just means that you're surrounding yourself with people that are really at their best. And I think that's really sweet. I definitely noticed that. The first few years that I lived in Hawaii, I always thought it was interesting. Whenever I would meet somebody new that wasn't originally from Hawaii, I always realized, wow, you know, everybody who moved here has a really interesting story of what drew them to the islands. And I love to learn about that because the reality is that people that move to the islands have to do a lot of things to get here. They have to align their lives. They have to figure out work. It's not necessarily the most convenient thing, so it usually takes a lot for people to be here. Number three, Waikiki has become so convenient these days that you really don't need to have a car if you don't want to. You know, I know a lot of people that live in Waikiki still do have vehicles, just in the off chance that they need to go to Costco or something. But the reality is that in this day and age, you really don't have to, especially with things like the new Target that just opened in the international marketplace, there's really no reason that you would need a car. I mean, if you can walk to Target and grab all of your groceries and your essential items, you know, that kind of removes the necessity to need to go to places like Ala Moana. So that's just a nice thing, you know. I'm not at that place in my life yet, but I told my wife, you know, in 10 or 15 years, I really want to be in a place where I have the convenient lifestyle that I don't have to have a car, that I can just, you know, walk downstairs and just grab a bite to eat, get a coffee, or go grocery shopping. You know, like I said, we're not quite there yet, but I do really admire that lifestyle, and I think Waikiki is kind of the epitome of that. Number 4, and this one's no secret, Waikiki has some of the best weather on Oahu. My wife always says, she says, it never rains in Waikiki. It seems like the way that the wind patterns go, that all the clouds just kind of blow around Waikiki, and it's just always kind of perfect here. And so whenever I'm in Waikiki and it is kind of raining a little bit, I always send her a video and I say, hey, it's raining today in Waikiki. But, you know, I do that obviously just to kind of poke at her a little bit. But really, the weather here is very nice year-round. You know, sometimes it does rain a little bit, but really not as much as some of the other areas. I'm going to turn the camera around here. I just want to show you. Starting to see the sun a little bit. It's just so beautiful. And this leads me to number 5. The views are just beautiful. I know you're in the city, so some people might be like, wow, what views? What are you talking about? But everywhere you look, you know, you've got beautiful trees, you have so many beautiful parks. Right now I'm looking at Diamond Head, which is one of my favorite landmarks in the entire world. And then when you go out into the ocean, like, you know, sometimes we'll go on, go sailing or something, the views, looking back into Waikiki, of all the mountains, you've got Manoa, St. Louis, Nuuanu. It's just so beautiful everywhere you look. And then the beach, of course, too. Sunset views. You really have it all packaged into this small area. So it's just such a sweet, sweet place to live. All right, number 6. This one's kind of a funny one, but you can wear your swimsuit year-round and nobody is going to judge you. So for those people that are the beach bums out there, you know who you are. Waikiki might be for you. I kind of love that. Like I said, I'm not really at the point in my life where I can wear my swimsuit every day, but I do admire you guys who can do that. Someday I'll be there right there with you. And Waikiki is definitely the place for you if that's the case. You just wake up, put your board shorts on. It's just such a relaxed lifestyle. A lot of people here are just here to enjoy. They're not trying to take things too seriously. They're not going on a bunch of meetings. You know, they're just here to live life, live a great lifestyle, a great active lifestyle, eat good, and just enjoy their lives. So I really love that about it. It's very, very casual. All right, number 7, living in Waikiki can kind of feel like you're always living on vacation. And the reason I say that is because it's a very spontaneous place. So I actually lived in Waikiki, my wife and I did, I think for about 2 years during COVID, which was an amazing place to live during COVID. It was incredible because when everything got locked down, I mean, the place was a ghost town. So everybody who lived in Waikiki kind of had it to themselves. And we lived maybe 2.5 blocks from the beach. And it was just amazing. Aside from when they tried to kick us off the beach, that was really lame. You know who you are. I couldn't believe that. We got kicked off the beach like once or twice during COVID. And I was like, there's nobody around us. This is so silly. But of course, the rules kind of came and went really quickly, so we didn't take it too personally. But yeah, it can kind of feel like you live on vacation when you're here. Waikiki is one of my wife's favorite places for that reason, because she just likes that very spontaneous lifestyle. The fact that you can just kind of drop everything at the drop of a hat and go and do something different that day. It's very fun, very exciting in that sense. Yeah, look at where I'm walking again right now. Kind of coming up on Kaimana Beach, if you know where that is, and I'm walking beside Kapiolani Park. But wow, just so beautiful over here. All right, and real quick, if you are new to this channel, we make real estate and lifestyle related content here in Hawaii. So if you get any value from this video, please like the video, comment down below what you thought, and consider subscribing to our channel. We are a new channel, and so that is going to help us out tremendously with the algorithms. You guys know the deal. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to get the word out to more people so that we can make more great content just like this. So thank you so much. Now back to the video. Number 8, Waikiki is located very close to Kapiolani Park and Diamond Head. Now, Kapiolani Park, for those of you that don't know, is kind of like Waikiki's Central Park or Balboa Park. It's just such an amazing place. It's a very large park where you can go and have a picnic. We go there all the time. We went there about a week ago for sunset with our daughter and with my mother-in-law. So we go to birthday parties there. Just such a nice open place for us all to just go enjoy nature. And then everybody, of course, knows about Diamond Head, the most iconic landmark in all of Hawaii. It's my personal favorite landmark. I think it's just such a beautiful, epic, crater. So being so close to Diamond Head means that in the mornings, you can just go over to Diamond Head and go get a great exercise and get some great views of Hawaii just to start your day, which is very cool. And I know a bunch of people who live here and who have lived in Waikiki for decades, and one guy in particular, he still goes every morning. It's pretty amazing. And recently with Diamond Head, they've made it really great for residents, where it's free for residents, but they started charging a minor fee to visitors, where you also need a reservation. So it really kind of cuts down on having overcrowding and that sort of thing, which is really nice. So they kind of make it so that local residents have kind of like a first dibs on going, which is very appreciated. All right, number 9, Waikiki, believe it or not, is a large resort community. So everything is very well manicured, very well maintained. So I just like to mention that because Waikiki kind of has this, everything looks very nice. You've got people cleaning the street every day. You have people patrolling, just making sure that everything is nice and maintained. And I love that. I look at that as it's like an amenity to a building, so to speak. So when you live in Waikiki, you have the amenity of living in a resort community, which is very nice. For instance, a lot of people know that the beaches in Waikiki, they're natural, of course, but the sand is brought in from another place because they want to manicure it and make it, they want to make it better, make it safer, of course, too, so that people aren't tripping up on coral and cutting their feet and that sort of thing. So kind of makes it just more tourist friendly, so that everybody comes here and just has a great time. Things like that. I mean, as controversial as that might seem to some people, that it's not a natural beach, they bring sand in, I think that's great. They're trying their best to make it very accommodating for everybody and make it just a fun, safe place for everybody to enjoy. I think that's amazing. All right, number 10, Waikiki can get pretty crowded on the weekends or on holidays when there's certain things like farmers markets or parades or even the marathon. My wife and I did the 10K within the marathon a little while ago, and yeah, they shut down pretty much all of Kalakaua. for most of that day, I think all the way up into the mid-afternoon until everybody started to finish. So, you know, you really got to kind of plan your day around that. Of course, if you don't have a car, you're fine. And then also Alawai Boulevard and Kuhio Avenue are usually pretty safe bets as ways to get in and out of Waikiki. Typically the areas that they close down is just Kalakaua. And then of course the Kalakaua Bridge. So the ways to get out are kind of the Mokoli Bridge and then also through Kapahulu. But you know, just something to keep in mind. We kind of know to steer clear of Waikiki on certain days for that very reason. Number 11, there are dining options out there for really every budget. You know, we have everything from like the grab and go, quick dining, fast food sort of stuff, all the way up to fine dining, steak restaurants. I've got a client who just purchased a house in Kailua, and he is the general manager of Ruth's Chris in Waikiki. So there's really something for every budget. And then there's also a lot of really like unique restaurants. Like my wife and I, we really love How Tree over here. I'm walking up on Gold Coast right now, just beside Waikiki. And then there's just a slew of other great restaurants too. There's several on top of the International Marketplace. A lot of hotels have really nice dining options in them as well. So it's something that you kind of learn over time, which ones you like to go to, of course. But there is something for everybody. And that leads me to the next one, which is number 12, that there is a housing option for every kind of budget too. And of course, I don't mean by that you know, there's ultra affordable real estate. That's not what I'm trying to say. But you know, if all you're looking for is a studio or a one bedroom unit, you can really find something in the $300,000 to $400,000, which to be in a place like Waikiki for $300,000 to $400,000, that's a pretty good value. Because of course, like people here are purchasing in Hawaii because it's a lifestyle move. And for that price, for a lifestyle move, I think you really can't beat it. We've owned a couple of places in Waikiki around that price range. We've owned some stuff a little bit nicer than that as well. So there's really, you know, Waikiki really spans the whole range. You've got buildings like Landmark Waikiki, Allure. You've got the Ritz-Carlton. You've got a lot of different options too for those of you that are looking for something a little bit nicer with more amenity rich, even luxury buildings. And even in some of these buildings, like Landmark Waikiki is honestly a great building, very well run. The units are very spacious, and you can even find a 2-bed in there for, I think, like the mid to high 700s, which for that grade building is actually a pretty good value. So you really got kind of everything across the board. And then of course you've got a lot of vacation rental sort of units too. Those pretty much span every price range too, all the way from like the low 300s all the way up to several $1,000,000. So there's really something for everybody. Now, check out where I'm walking right now. I just got to Kaimana's Beach. This is kind of one of my wife and I's favorite beaches. So if you come here, you might see us. Say hi. Kaimana Beach Hotel. Right past here is where one of our favorite restaurants I was mentioning earlier called How Tree. It's right back there. So we really, really love this area. And we actually live just right on the other side of Diamond Head from here. So we're in this area every week. It's really nice. Yeah, we really love it here. The lifestyle, it's just such a great place to live, such a great place to raise our little daughter, to just love and appreciate everything that Hawaii has to offer. You know, she's gonna live a really great lifestyle. We're excited to share in that with her as she gets older. She's only 2, of course, so she's got a long ways to go, but we're really excited. Take her to the beach every weekend, just about, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. All right, the next one, and this one's no secret, Waikiki has some of the best beaches in the world. You've got these beautiful, spacious, white sandy beaches. You've got a lot of natural wildlife right in the ocean. My wife and I, for instance, we were just riding a catamaran in Waikiki about a week and a half ago, and we saw a whole school of dolphins. I think they call it a school of dolphins. A whole school of dolphins that were spinner dolphins, and they were just following the front of the catamaran, and it was just so amazing. It's experiences like that that just remind us why we live here. So it was just amazing. And then of course at Kaimana's there's a resident monk seal that just comes up to the beach and hangs out. And by the way, do not get close to the monk seal. As a matter of fact, don't get too close to any wildlife. You know, they're kind of doing their thing. Just let them do their thing. They're loving it. And, you know, we get a lot of people from all over the world. And, you know, I'm from a landlocked state. So my first exposure to wildlife in Hawaii, you know, of course it's like incredible. I've never seen a dolphin before. I've never seen a sea turtle. But yeah, a lot of people want to, you know, pose and take pictures next to the wildlife, and it's kind of a no-no. You know, we like to let them do their thing. All right, number 14. In Waikiki, you're really in the city, but you still feel very connected to nature. I think this is kind of evident in some of the other ones that I was mentioning, but it's so true. You know, although you are still in the city, on the backside next to Alawai, you've got this entire canal which really breaks up Waikiki from the rest of the city. So you kind of feel like you're on your own little peninsula out here in Waikiki. And then of course, as mentioned before, you've got Kapiolani Park right here. On the other side of Waikiki by the marina, you've got Ala Moana Park, which is another huge oceanfront park. So you really do feel connected to nature, even though you are in the city. So just something important to know, because a lot of people who want to move to Hawaii, you know, they want to be very connected to nature, and evidently so. I want to be connected to nature too, and I want to have a lot of greenery around me, and, you know, not be in too much of the hustle and bustle of life. But sometimes because of that, people choose to be in places like North Shore or other very rural areas. And some people that move to these areas just end up realizing that maybe it's a little bit too slow for them. Of course, I love North Shore as well. It's one of the most beautiful places of the island. But just kind of putting things into context, that you know, it's nice to have the convenience of being right in the city with access to nature all around you. All right, real quick, I just launched my monthly newsletter. So if you'd like to join that newsletter, where we send out just one email at the beginning of every month, just to highlight what's happening here in Hawaii, what's happening with the real estate market. If you'd like to join that, feel free to check out the link in the description below. We send out just one email at the beginning of every month. I think you're going to get a lot of value from it, especially if you are thinking about making a move into Hawaii sometime in the future. Because let's be honest, the best decisions that we make are when we make educated decisions. And that's what I'm all about, is just educating people on what's happening here on the ground in Hawaii. So feel free to check that out in the description below. All right, back to the video. Number 15, Waikiki is a relatively safe place to live. You know, it's a very rare occasion where I hear about something very bad happening in Waikiki. It's always very mellow. You know, believe it or not, and I'm gonna knock on wood next time I see something, we don't even have a lot of like beach theft. And I know that's very prevalent in other very like resort style communities, like the Caribbean, for instance. I never see that. I never even hear about it. So it's a very rare occasion that we hear about anything like very bad happening. Of course, just like everywhere, we do have our petty crime. We've got, you know, mopeds that get stolen and stuff like that. But in the, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I think Waikiki is relatively safe. Number 16, living in Waikiki means that whenever you have people coming to visit, that you're relatively close to them, which is nice. So they come and visit. They're staying at a hotel or an Airbnb, and you live just a few blocks away. So it's a really nice way to stay connected with people that are coming to visit you, and to make sure that you're around them during their trip. You know, I've got two of my best buddies coming out to visit next month. You know, they're going to be staying with us, so of course it's a different situation, but it's nice when people come out. You get to spend a bunch of time with them, and you know, for people living in Waikiki, of course, the property sizes are much smaller, so it doesn't always work out to have friends stay with you. So staying in the hotel next door just makes a ton of sense. When we lived in Waikiki, we lived on Lure Street, and we had some good friends of ours who actually did a staycation next door for their birthday. So it was amazing. You know, we went just right next door to go spend, to kind of hang out and celebrate with our friend for her birthday. It's just so nice. You know, that convenient factor just cannot be overstated. All right, number 17, the public transit in Waikiki is some of the best in Hawaii. We've got dozens of Biki bike rental stations. We've got bus stops all over Waikiki. We even have rideshare vehicles, Ubers, Lyfts. We even have moped rentals. So as far as getting around and logistics and mobility goes, Waikiki is really the best in Hawaii. So, all right, real quick, I want to show you this view of Diamond Head. Oh, it's amazing. Isn't that just so beautiful? Yeah, it's my favorite view. I know I'm kind of nails on a chalkboard because I've mentioned that so many times during this video, but just so epic to have a crater like that just right here. All right, number 18. Living in Waikiki means that you live right next to the zoo and the aquarium, which is really cool. I think it expired now, but when my daughter, for like the first 18 months of her life, we had the zoo membership just so we could go and just kind of have a nice outing, expose her to all these really beautiful animals. So that was really nice. And the aquarium is right there as well. I know I just passed it, but it's really cool being able to be that close to these sort of things so that you can experience more nature just right next to you. I know a lot of the things at the zoo, of course, this is not their natural habitat here in Hawaii, but it's still pretty cool to be able to see an elephant in Waikiki. I mean, come on, let's be honest. There's lots of really cool things over there. All right, number 19, this one's no secret, but parking can be a bit of a challenge in Waikiki. So I know most of the people that live in Waikiki do have a parking stall, but it can still be a challenge. You know, if you need to do work on your unit, you need to have a place where your contractor, handyman can park. So that's really important. And then when you have guests coming over, some buildings aren't really, they don't really have a lot of guest stalls. So just something to think about, and especially when you are looking for that property to purchase, it might be something you want to add on your property wish list. All right, number 20, in Waikiki, there is a lot of fun job opportunities or just other fun ways to meet people. Like there's a lot of meetups, people meeting up with just similar interests. I think that's really cool. And then there's also things like yoga in the park. Or one time, I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but I did yoga on a stand-up paddleboard with some friends. And let's just say it didn't end very well. Yeah, I fell in the water. So, but there's just a lot of fun opportunities to meet people. And of course, like in a place like Waikiki, you would expect that, right? Like everybody's living a very active lifestyle here. A lot of people are very open and wanting to meet new people, wanting to meet new friends. And so just a place that's very conducive to that. And I really love that about Waikiki. All right, number 21. When you have friends who live on island that come visit you in Waikiki, you're going out to celebrate or you're going out to dinner, your friends need to drive or get an Uber back to home. Whereas if you live in Waikiki, you're just a short walk from home, which is really nice. And when we lived in Waikiki, we definitely really appreciated that. We had friends, like I mentioned earlier, we had friends that come into Waikiki for different things, like to grab dinner with us or to do a staycation. And it was just so nice that at the end of the night, we could just walk home a few blocks and made it really, really convenient. So Waikiki is a really exciting place to live with such an active lifestyle, and there really is something for every budget when it comes to real estate. So if you want to know more about the Waikiki real estate market or the Hawaii market in general, you're going to love this next video, so check it out right now.